how do you overcome paralysis and fear? And I know that when your first child came, you had some deep fear. At least that's what my research team has told me. Let's dive into some fear. How do you overcome not just paralysis, but that fear? How do you do it personally?
Well, I want to hear your tips because you're out there. You did some really dangerous stuff. So, but for myself, is very similar to what I said earlier about behavior shapes your emotions. So acting as if you are fearless, acting as if you're courageous, and eventually you become a little more courageous. In fact, that was lots of great people have said this. Teddy Roosevelt, I remember reading a story about Teddy Roosevelt went out west and he was having a terrible time in his life. His mother had just died. He went out west to be a cowboy, and he was a New York City kid. He did not grow up in the West. Like, he has cultivated this persona he did, but he was just like, a New York City wimp like me. And so people said, how did you do it when you're, facing the wilderness or a rampaging buffalo? And he said, oh, I just acted as if I was courageous, and eventually I became courageous. That's a paraphrase, but that was his point. So to me, that really is my secret. I still get scared, but whenever I can, I try to act as if I'm fearless. And what would a fearless person do? And actually, let me walk that back, because fearless is not a good idea. You want to have some fear. You want to be wisely fearful. Like, you don't want to, jump off a cliff and say, I'm fearless. I can, you want to assess the risks and take smart risks and not stupid risks. So I don't want to be fearless, but I want to be courageous.